Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
My favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
Hey there, everyone, and welcome to episode 92 of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. Unfiltered discussions, undiscovered music. As always, welcome to the podcast. My co-host down there in Adelaide, please welcome Tave Bragg. Braggy, how are we?
Very well, thank you. Very good down here in Adelaide.
We did try and attempt this with Rossi from Sydney, but he's in a dark cave somewhere, in his favourite cave, and the internet just wasn't playing along.
No,
so,
it's that. Yeah,
Rossi's
that little
not
town
with
of
us
Sydney. Sometimes the internet plays up down there.
I know, it's
Up there.
crazy. It's crazy. He was in the studio, so maybe next week we'll be able to get some tales from the studio. Tonight's special guest also on the screen. Please welcome Andrew Pearce. How are you, Andrew?
Good, thanks, Tony. Very well. Very happy to be here.
Yeah, very pleased to have you tonight. But before we do, let's just talk a little bit of news. Braggy, you've got a friend in the corner.
Yep, I've got a friend up here that's joined us. If you can see, I'll try and get them in.
Yeah.
Are they in?
I
There.
can see him.
A bit further out,
That's-
there he is.
Mr. Huntsman. When Rossi was on before, he said he was one of the spiders from one of the lime spiders. Checking us out.
One of the lime spiders. And in his own corner, so not playing well with others.
Yeah,
And,
so
that's pretty...
if I scream, that means he's fallen on me. But I think he's all right.
Yeah,
Might be a she.
There might be some of that music. Do 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 do.
Yeah.
You know.
That's it.
Hey, tonight's another one of our popular 5 Songs of Meaning episodes. And for those listening or watching for the first time, Braggy, what is it about the 5 Songs of Meaning that makes them such a great episode?
Because the 5 songs. First of all, the format is we get a special guest on, which is Andrew tonight, and he's picked 5 songs that when you get to our age, you know, the songs go fair way back, so you get a little chance to listen to a lot of music, and it's 5 songs that have some sort of meaning throughout your life, but it doesn't actually have to be like that. I think when Rossi did it once, it was more things that he learnt through his life. I think we had Darren Whittle on once, and he did. He picked one song for each member of his family or his closest friends that just reminded him of that. So I love the way everyone kind of does it differently. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, very much so. So, Andrew, I'm going to introduce you. Andrew is a work colleague of mine, and he's a bit of a change management guru. But so don't think that's stale or boring or what have you, because you've had a lifelong relationship with music, haven't you? Do you want to just talk a little bit about it?
Sure. And it kind of leads us into the first song as well. So first year of high school, I got the opportunity to learn guitar through school. And for the first term, I had a lovely lady teach us simple guitar chords, you know, folky kind of Janis Ian, Judy Collins kind of music. Easy peasy. And I really picked that up because my mother loved John Denver.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I thought, play a bit of guitar, make her, you know, love me even more.
Yeah.
If that's possible. And so, yeah, the old C, G, D, you know, a couple of minors, A and B.
Leaving on a jet
and
plane.
he really worked on the old classical guitar from school. And then I began to look at lots of different kind of folky guitar music. And I found this guy called James Taylor. Now, I've always said that I played guitar because of John Denver, and I kept playing guitar because of James Taylor. And so many more complex chords and the picking style, and the thing that was lovely as well is my two younger sisters, very similar ages. You know, one's an alto, one's a soprano. We used to sing a lot of stuff together in harmony. And James Taylor was the place we always went to if there was a family event. And it stood me in good stead for a long time. Great music. Seen him a number of times live. And look, continue to love his music. And my boys continue to love his music too. So yeah, that's sort of the intro to the first song.
Excellent. So let's play a snippet of, and it's James Taylor, Handyman.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the harmony there for the three of us children for Mum. Always makes Mum cry. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It is just so easy to listen to.
That's just made for three-part, isn't it? I can, And James Taylor, he's got such a soothing voice. I mean, hasn't he? He's got just the timbre of his voice is so soothing
and so strong still.
Yeah.
Him at Day on the Green about 5-6 years ago.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And he always attracts, I mean, I know in his band, he always attracts really quality musos. He had Steve Gadd on drums who's played with him for a while and guys like that. But I can just hear you three. That's perfect for three-part, yeah. So did your sisters...
It is.
Did your sisters play as well or just sang?
They just sang. Oh, my very youngest sister plays guitar.
Okay.
And the two of them still sing together, but they're in New Zealand, obviously, and I'm here. But we do sing and play when we do get together, rarely.
Yeah. That's cool.
It was Braggy. My very first meeting with Andrew was when I joined the organisation that we're with, and he was in a leadership or in a personal development program, and they were all asked to have brought something along, something of meaning.
Yeah.
And Andrew brought the family songbook.
That's awesome.
That they'd compiled of all their songs that they do together as a family. And it was just, and to hear him speak about that was just, first impressions. That's awesome. That's brilliant. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't
and
have...
that sing-along songbook I use still. I've got a version of my iPad. I take it with my guitar and, to parties, and we'll sing along with a whole pile of songs. And as well as the chords, they're separate books of just the words. There was so often on a Friday and Saturday night, people would come around for cheese and beers, and nobody knew the words.
So you passed the words out?
Yeah, so
wow.
There's 200 set songs and 200 songs with all the word, just the words. So people could sing along.
You're so organised.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo. I can't help it.
Well, yeah, wow. That's so organised.
Yeah,
I would never. I mean, there's nothing I love better in my life than sitting around with someone else, having a few beers and playing guitar and singing harmony. That's my happy place to go to.
Very good. It's a very, very good place to be.
But I never think of writing out the words for everyone else. That's fantastic.
Well, Tony, I think you ended up getting a PDF copy of it. Pass it on. Yeah, I just pass it on. I don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, I've got like 2 big folders here of all of like songs that I do when I go and play. But if I go to a party somewhere and there's a guitar out, I'm always thinking, what? I can't believe I play. There's hundreds of songs. I can't think of any because I don't have them written down. It's funny.
So what's our next song tonight?
Well, the next song is a sort of a progression of high school music, playing guitar. And then I also play double bass in a jazz band. And I mean, it's just the first 4 chords of first 4 strings of the guitar. So easy to translate. And then I got a bass guitar and I started to play that at a few places. And I'm embarrassed to say at church as well. But then I found this
some of the greatest music of all time comes out of church. Jeez.
I know. I found this amazing bass player and I started to watch his band play, and his name was Phil Lynott, and the band was Thin Lizzy. And the step from James Taylor to Thin Lizzy wasn't a step; it was a long jump.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
for
need
sure.
a lot of run up for the long
Yeah.
jump. And bang, when I hit the sand, and this song came on, and then I bought their double album, Live and Dangerous.
Yeah.
This was the beginning of a whole nother part of life and music for me. Brought me on to Boston, brought me on to Led Zepp, whole pile of different great electric guitar bands.
Yeah. So how old are you, Andrew, when you listen when you're
I'm 60
discovering Thin
I'm
Lizzy?
61 now. I was about
Okay, so
16 when I found Thin
16.
Lizzy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you ever see the video of this concert, this song just unbelievable. But it's the twin guitars playing close together. It's his
Yeah.
voice, it's his bass playing, and Brian Downey on drums. Sensational. Just
And-
four-piece, but it sounds so bigger.
And Gary Moore on guitar in those
Yeah,
days.
no, that was before Gary Moore.
Oh,
but
before Gary Moore.
did join them.
Okay.
Yeah, later on.
There we go.
Brian Johnson on guitar. He was magic too. Yeah. Go for it.
All right.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that have been away haven't changed, had much to say. Man, I still think them cats are crazy. They were asking if you were around, how you was, where you could be found. Told them you make a living downtown, driving all the old men crazy. The boys are back in town. Boys are back in town. I see the boys are back in town.
That song just has a feel, doesn't it? It just
I know.
has a feel to it.
It's actually
Mate, I'd never heard the live version. So
a very complex chord progression for a pop song.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's almost jazz chords there. You know, you can
And
interpret it that
He
way.
played the bass guitar like a lead guitar with
Yeah,
two
yeah,
lead
yeah.
guitars with him. So the polyphony going
Yeah.
on there is pretty complex.
yeah.
So Andrew, I want to know
It's,
how. So you bought, you obviously had that on vinyl, or did you have it on a cassette?
I originally had it on vinyl.
And then your
Then
house,
I had it on CD, and now I
okay,
have it on vinyl again.
yeah. And so I just want to know where you're listening to that. You're 16. Are you at home? Do you have in your room or
No,
you
in the lounge, there's
the whole family
sensational
stereo?
high fidelity system with a Dolby tape deck.
Nice.
Lots of brown wood, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm picturing it.
Yeah,
it's great.
and you
swirly wallpaper.
and while the song's
wallpaper.
playing, you got
yeah.
the double album. You're checking
We
it
had
out.
The hi-fi
Inserts.
that we had the stick in the middle, so you could have 45s dropped.
Oh,
You could put
wow.
multiple
Yeah, I know the
LPs
ones.
on, and you could have like 3 hours, 4 hours of music. It's not like it's a different kind of downloading. But,
Yeah, I
it was
know.
great.
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
You listen to that song and you listen to that song, Braggy, and you just want to grab a mate and start walking down like a street to get into town, don't
That's
you?
right.
Just you
It's-
puff your chest up and away you go.
Yeah, that's rocking out.
But it's
yeah.
wonderful. You automatically feel 16 and 17 again. And
Yeah.
It's just-
That's why I wanted to ask you how you listen to it. We should ask that more actually, Curly, because
Yeah, good question.
yeah, I mean, I didn't have. I remember I couldn't afford headphones, so I used to be down in my room and I'd have the pretty
Yeah.
cheap stereo. Didn't have anything flash like Andrew had, and I'd just put the speakers and lie with my head on a pillow between the two speakers like that to get the same effect.
Some form of cheap headphones that were plugged
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I
and
didn't
that
really
was
have any
all too good.
headphones, but yeah.
Now, I do have to say something. It was remiss of me not to say before we start.
Yeah.
If you're watching this on YouTube, Unfortunately, 4 of the 5 songs have been blocked by copyright, so you will need to follow the link in the show notes, put us on pause, follow the link, listen to the song, and then come back to the podcast. If you're listening on an audio platform, no issues. For some reason, audio platforms, all the songs go through, no worries. Once we're on YouTube, unfortunately, the copyrights of the authorized owners kick in and we get blocked. So, and we want our podcast to be seen. So we do. For those people on YouTube, I do apologize, but the links are in the show notes, and please check them out but make sure you put us on pause first and then check out the songs. So, all right. So, and Andrew, one of the things I noticed with your 5 songs was the vast difference. So we've gone from James Taylor to Thin Lizzy, and then we sort of change again.
Yeah. So the next one, if I'm correct, is it
it's your show.
Yeah. I know there's 3 more, and I know what they are. I can't remember the order, but I think the next one is Thompson Twins.
You've got
it. So coming out of that and still playing guitar, I still play guitar. In a couple of years' time, it'll be 50 years of playing 6-string acoustic. Bass guitar, and he played that kind of to the end of university. But I bought another one for my 60th birthday, so I'm starting to play again. And then all of a sudden, early 80s, I got married. Mid 80s, I started to do the overseas travel. Spent some time in Australia because I was living in New Zealand as a student. And then off to England, lived and worked in Edinburgh while they had the Commonwealth Games there in the mid 80s. And that whole 85, 86, 87, great music came out. Great music. And again, so different to the other 2 types. And in the last 6 months, I got to go and see the lead singer of Thompson Twins. He was touring at the Tivoli, went and saw him. We all stood up. It was like group karaoke because just everybody knew, grandmas, parents, children, they all knew the music and they all sang along. It was brilliant. And this is a song that I play often, is in my 200 song list. And when I used to busk and play in cafes and restaurants, I used to sing the song, still an acoustic version. But the thing I love about this song is it's simple. It's 4 chords. And, with a B flat occasionally. But it's the kind of song that everybody knows. It's not hard to sing. So the sing-along is brilliant with this. But it's really clever in the way that's put together because the verse and the chorus are the same chord progression. And it's bouncy. It's a great song. It's just a great song. It makes you feel good to sing it and play it. Go for it.
All right, so Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now.
I have a picture pinned to my wall, an image of you and of me, and we're laughing with love at it all. Look at our life now, all tattered and torn. We fuss and we fight and delight in the tears that we cry until dawn. Oh, hold me now.
Yeah.
From Thin Lizzy to Thompson.
It's a pop song, but I can hear the sisters harmonising in the chorus there too, Andrew.
Yeah.
Music that's a great song.
It's such a wonderful connector.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can
absolutely.
just imagine that mid-'80s trip to the UK.
I had big hair.
You know,
Yeah.
I'd believe it. So,
Yeah, I had big hair.
But for some reason, I was picturing Dexy and the Midnight Runners, that whole, sort of style. There was a lot happening in
There
England
was.
in the mid-'80s.
Boy George. There was
Yeah.
a whole lot of
Yeah.
boundaries being pushed. Talk, I still listen to. Great
Yep.
music, Spandau and those other 5 boys. What were they called?
Duran Duran.
Anyway, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah. I was right.
But,
I was heavily
big
into
time.
that.
Howard Jones, great music, all good music.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's also the period of time when I first heard Chris Rea.
Chris Rea.
And his
Yep.
slide guitar, brilliant. So
Yeah.
travel opens up music as well. It's good.
It does, yeah, and when you hear those songs, it takes you back to England, doesn't it? I guess. I know. There's a certain compilation album that we still have kicking around, a tape that takes my wife and I back to England, or it's road trips too. Like sometimes you go on a road trip and you're stuck with one CD or something or 2 CDs, and then that album just gets imprinted on your brain. And every time you hear it, you go, "Oh, I remember where I was." Yeah. That's what makes this show so good, Curly.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
No, I like that.
And I understand it now because, Thin Lizzy's the, puff up the chest and get out there into town, and next minute it's a love song from the Thompson Twins. And, and I'm sort of thinking, I can't wait to see the link here, because there's always a link. And, that was awesome. So, which brings us to your next one. So
2001, with a wife and 3 children, had the opportunity to go to Germany and work. And then there was this little thing called 9/11, which scuttled those plans. And we were all packed up and ready to go. We considered going to London, and they had the anthrax stuff.
Oh, yeah,
And so we came to Brisbane, for 6 months, 22 years ago. And it's been the best thing we ever did. And I suppose in those early times here, it was Kiwis that we hung around with. And this next song, Walking in Memphis, was another, out of the pool, round the table, few beers, cheese platter, Saturday afternoon kind of music. And
with the Kiwis.
One particular Kiwi that we knew quite well, it was his, at the time, favourite song. So every time we went there, we had to sing it. And it's just become part of the core of the things I sing on a regular basis.
So it would have been Walking in Memphis.
And again, well known.
Yes. Hit it, Curly.
So that's the connection. Enjoy.
That's one of the great songs. That one.
It is.
I just love all the
great voice.
Yeah, but I just love all the references in there. It took me ages to figure out what everything was about. I used to think I couldn't work out what he was talking about. Walking 10 feet off but it's 10 feet off of Beale Street, which is where it all happened there. And William Christopher Handy, I think, is W.C. Handy, the early blues musician.
It's not just an Elvis song. There's a whole
no,
lot
it's
of
not
things
just an
going
Elvis
on
song.
there.
It's everything. Well, Memphis, one of the great cities of music in the
Musical
world.
cities of the world.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to picture a group of Kiwis singing a song about Memphis.
W.C. Walking
And
in
that's
Memphis.
just the beauty of music, I guess,
Yeah.
isn't it? So,
Yeah, but I
So
think
Tony, one of
is Dave Dobbin in your songbook?
Of course. Yeah.
But
He's a Kiwi
Andrew,
icon.
the most beautiful
And so
thing.
is Dragon. Remember,
Yeah.
they're an Australian and Split Ends.
Yeah,
They're a New Zealand band, you know that.
Yeah.
There's a whole
I've been
lot of
lucky
that.
enough to play with a couple of Kiwi guys, and they've always got, especially the Polynesian guys, they've always got the voices, man. They
Great
would have been great to
harmony.
sing with. Yeah,
That came
and they're
from
just
churches.
so musical. The Marys, you know.
So if I
Fantastic.
can just share one of the things that came out of playing James Taylor and having learnt basics of the piano, you know, the piano is left hand, right hand, bass, treble.
Yep.
And then starting to play the guitar in a picking sense with the thumb being the bass and your fingers being the,
Right hand.
you know, the treble, the right hand, and breaking that up and trying to repeat the sounds and the rhythms of piano playing on the guitar. Walking in Memphis is the one that makes it work the best.
Oh, for that piano at the start.
Yeah.
That little arpeggio
that
that he
piano
plays at the
sound.
start. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great to play. It's
That's
great
cool.
to play. But it's such a fun song, and everybody knows it. I mean, a lot of the stuff is sing-along stuff that been involved with. You know, even if they're not singing, you know they're singing in their head.
Yeah. It's such a passionate song too, like that, like where it goes into like middle 8 bit quiet, and then it comes back out and he talks about you know the black girl singer, you know, Muriel plays piano, and you just feel it. Then you're like,
Yeah,
sing,
it builds so nicely.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's a great song. It's a great
good song. Good choice.
So number 5, this is your last one.
This is the last one, and it's a fairly recent song. So we've travelled a whole journey, and we come back to a beautifully crafted song with a great singer and a great purpose, meaning. And that purpose and meaning is love. I mean, that's the underlying thing that I've learned throughout life. It's the core of who we are and what we want. In the same way as music fills me with that, it's a really important to continue to be passionate about what you love and who you love. And I think all of me really reflects that really well. Enjoy.
What would I do without your smart mouth? Drawing me in and you kicking me out. You got my head spinning, no kidding. I can't pin you down. What's going on in that beautiful mind? I'm on your magical mystery ride, and I'm so dizzy, don't know what hit me, but I'll be alright. My head's underwater, but I'm breathing fine. You're crazy and
Yeah, that guy's a talent, isn't he?
Beautifully structured, tempo, words, linkages,
voice.
It's a magic song.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
So what's the sing-alongs like with that song, Andrew?
Well, sometimes people need to go to the bar or to the toilet, so I can sing a song I want. And, and sometimes I just sing out on the balcony with my lady, and she likes it as well.
Yeah.
One of the things that stood out, especially going through them tonight, is there's a real, there's almost like a gospel-y feel to the, with each and every song. It's almost like, to me anyway, there's a spiritual connection. So
yes, I noticed that.
So obviously that's been part of, I don't know that whether that's drawn you to those songs or whether it's part of that process for yourself.
Maybe. Look, definitely, you know, raised a Methodist, you know, sang in the choir. Had a period of time as a Pentecostal. You know, there's lots of good singing and music there. And then realised it was all imaginary friends. But look, even when I travelled through Europe and other places, you know, churches, castles, history, architecture, you know, sculpted beauty was something that I was really drawn to. And then I began to understand the sculpted beauty of music. And originally, when I left high school, I was a big fan of classical music, was working down the path to being a secondary school music teacher. And then I realized that I enjoyed classical music too much to teach 13-year-olds who wanted to listen to AC/DC.
Yeah.
So I just kept music for myself. Still go and listen to the orchestra, listen to jazz quite often, quite a variety of different styles of music. And each of them says different things to them. And I suppose I've always been a little bit of a hopeless romantic. So music drives a lot of that stuff. And
it's a very spiritual
feel.
thing, music. Whether you're religious or not, it's a spiritual thing. For me, it is anyway. It's an incredible thing. I mean, just even just the science of it fascinates me. Of music going in your ear and making the that liquid inside your brain move and give you that feelings. It's magical. It's a magical thing.
Yeah.
So
one of the best memories that Sharon and I have when we ran the New York Marathon in 2018 were the churches that were along the street, and the old typical stairs in the front, and there's gospel singers there, the ones in Harlem were definitely the most vibrant, and it just lifts you. And, I'm not necessarily a religious person, but you cannot help but be lifted by that when you're 22 miles into a marathon and the last thing you're wanting, you just want to finish that thing, and then all of a sudden you just come across this amazing spectacle and sound in a Harlem church. It's just amazing.
Did they let you run through the church? Or just
No. We were on the street, and the church was on the street. So, but there were so many of them. So, but the Harlem one stood out. So,
absolutely. And you mentioned also, David, that it's a lot of the Maori and Pacific Island people. They have that background as well. That's what makes their harmony so clear and beautiful. Is that history of church singing.
Yeah, and that's why, and that humans knew that so long ago. That's why they built. One of the reasons they built churches so big is because when you sang the choir and they reverberated around, it gave even more of a sense of the spiritual. Yeah,
nice. So we've had an interesting journey tonight.
I love that. This is how I see the journey a little bit. Though I see you discover James Taylor, and then I feel like at 16 you got Thin Lizzy. So you kind of figuring out you're a guy. You're a young man, 16 man. You're a little bit more settled with yourself by the time you get to the Thompson twins. You know who you are. Yep. And then we go to Mark Cohen and you get close friends, and then I think it just brings it all back together at the end there. You realise the people you love. That's what that song's all about. People are special
that
to you.
Hopeless romantic in the last bit.
Yeah, great journey. I love it. I love this format, Tony.
Yeah, it is. And I think I discounted 138 songs to get to these 5. It's not been an easy price, Tony. And I could do another 5 session later or another 5 a year ago. A year later.
Mine would change every day of the week.
Yeah, Braggy's got this habit, Andrew, that whenever I say, look, let's do this and let's pick 5 songs, Braggy always comes back with 7 or 8.
And then I change.
Break it down.
And then I change it.
So Braggy's, if ever we did a Braggy 5-song of meaning, it'd probably be 55 songs.
You have to give me a long time. And I'll be sending you an hour before the show. I'll be saying, no, not that one, the other one.
No, late change. So, but really appreciate that, Andrew.
Yeah, that was great, Andrew.
Absolutely awesome. So
thank you guys for the opportunity.
For everyone who's listening or watching, please, wherever you are, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend. It's always appreciated. Of course, we've got our YouTube channel. Just look up. Do a search for Unfiltered and Undiscovered. We're on Facebook, TikTok. The songs tonight will go into the Unfiltered and Undiscovered playlist on Spotify. We've got our website, of course, at unfilteredandundiscovered.com. And in the words of Steve Morrisey and Johnny Marr, now I know how Joan of Arc felt. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Braggy.
Okay.
Thanks, Andrew.
Thanks,
and we'll
guys.
see you all again soon.
Will do.
Cheers.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
That she was Australian. Oh, how so much better life could be. It's a pity love and understanding can't always go hand in hand with leadership and strong democracy.
Hey, y'all. I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music, and you're listening to our friends Braggy and Curly.
My favorite fans from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.